Everyone who has been traveling in emerging and frontier market knows that there's a tremendous need for infrastructure. You see that the energy consumption is on the rise, that really there is crucial infrastructure that needs to be financed there.
The sustainable infrastructure in emerging markets is extremely critical today.
About 80% of population is living in emerging and frontier markets. These populations, to a largest extent, do not have access to adequate infrastructure.
We can always argue that any investment in infrastructure in emerging markets will create change and impact and value. But going specifically into sustainable infrastructure, we ensure that we also have a positive environmental impact, that we have a direct positive social impact. So the value created is tenfold.
The Sustainable Development Goals sets clear goals, and from that perspective it's an important framework to align the interests of investors with the goals that we can achieve. It's also important that the SDGs are accompanied also by policy response, by regulation, which will really accelerate some of these changes that we need in order to get to 1.5 degrees or net zero.
Without them, it would be easy to just say, oh, we're doing something good, but we won't have any quantifiable objectives. With the SDGs, we can actually set a list of key indicators that we want to follow and track them, monitor them, ensure that they are being achieved.
At Blue Orchard, we now demonstrated for over 2 decades that you don't need to sacrifice profits for purpose.
The key is really to find projects within the scope of what we want to do in terms of impact, but then look at them from a pure commercial investor perspective and point of view.
In emerging frontier markets, mid-sized projects quite often struggle to obtain funding from local banks. At the same time, such projects may be too small for the larger international lenders. So if investors like us come in and serve this segment, there may be attractive returns. And of course, the benefit of closing this gap is more infrastructure being put in place where it matters.
Given the current urgency of driving the energy transition and mitigating climate change, the type of technology and projects that we invest in that are sustainable will still be investable in 10 years, 20 years from now. Whereas choosing to invest into a technology or a project which is not contributing to the SDGs would put us at a very high risk of not being able to operate that project in, say, 5 years or 10 years. So it's for us to take the decision today to take the traditional way or to already finance sustainable projects.